Alright, what's going on guys? Today another awesome install on the GT, and this one I am very excited about. Now before I start this video, I want to give a huge thanks to Jim over at Piercemotorsport for sending these two bars out at an extremely good price, as well as a sick t-shirt. So all his info will be down in the description, including his website and Instagram and stuff like that. So please go check him out, and I hope to be working with him in the near future to create some more stuff for this car. So what I have here is two of his chassis braces for, I guess one's for the Veloster and one is actually a GT specific bar that, as far as I know, I'm the first ever custom made for this car, so I'm pretty excited to have that. But one is the rear upper brace that bolts in the child anchor supports in the hatch area, and the other is a lower front 2-point tie bar brace. Now these are extremely lightweight, made out of chromoly steel, which is I guess an alternative to regular steel or aluminum, as it is very lightweight, very similar to aluminum, but also has the strength of a normal steel bar. Now this is probably going to be a two-part series installing the 2-point tie bar brace another time, so if that does become a video, I will link it in the card above. But in today's video I'm hoping to install the rear trunk brace and show you guys what you need to do specifically in the GTs with the underfloor storage, as you might need to cut a little bit of foam out to fit this in its spot, but it should be a pretty simple install. So before I start rambling on and talking too much, let's just go ahead and get on to the install. Now first things first, you're going to want to access your hatch area and remove any of these panels that cover up the storage, as well as underneath here where it has the foam insert for the storage and stuff like that. But I'll show you guys here what to do. Now this is the point where you can leave any of this stuff in for the spare tire and stuff like that, but you're going to want to access this rear piece that has the child anchor covers in it. You're going to take it out just like that, and that will give you access to the bolts for the anchors themselves. Alright, so what you guys are going to need is a 12mm socket, preferably with a small extension, and then of course your ratchet. Now you don't need the extension, but it makes it a lot easier to access those bolts down there. So 12mm socket, extension, ratchet. And I'll show you guys right here what to do on this middle one, since it's a lot easier to get to than that one. But essentially you're just going to want to put your socket on this nut here and loosen it until the entire assembly comes off, like I've done over there. Except you'll need to do it on the two outside ones and not the middle. Just like that. Next, obviously you guys want to check for fitment, so set the bar over your holes. I'm assuming you'll reuse the factory bolts, so just take those out of the factory latches and insert them into the holes. Now it might be easier at this point to lower the rear seat so you have access from inside the door rather than crawling in right here, as it is a pretty awkward area to work in. So I'm going to try that and let you guys know how it goes. Alright, so it's much easier to access those bolts from the inside of the car with the seats folded down than it would be from the trunk area, so I would definitely recommend doing it from there. Just makes everything easier, and so far everything has lined up great. Now you may be asking yourself, wow, it's that simple to install this? Yes and no. Now since I have the underfloor storage, as you guys can see from these black panels and everything like that, I also have the foam underneath the black piece that covers up that portion of the bar. Now, I'm not sure what will happen if you do not have this underfloor storage, but for me, you're going to need to cut some of this foam out to allow the bar, or to allow this to go around the bar and sit flush with the rest of the panels back here. So, as you guys can see, I've marked 3 spots. One of these is incorrect. I think this one's the incorrect one. I accidentally went the wrong way. But you'll need to mark about halfway up here, and then about 80 to 85% to the back wall here of the styrofoam. You need to cut all the way through every one of these to get to this one, cut through this one, and then you will not have to cut on either side of this gap here or here, since that's where the bar stops. So basically you'll just need to cut maybe inch to inch and a half of foam out of each section here to allow this piece to sit flat against the rest of it, as right now. That's all. It goes down and it sits about an inch up. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut that, and I'll show you guys how it turns out. Alright, so after you guys completely destroy the styrofoam and make your floor a mess, you'll then put it back in the car. But this is how I did it. It doesn't look pretty, but it does the job. Lets the bar fit in there. See, I ended up going, a 1/4 inch to the bottom, or 1/4 inch from the bottom, and it seems to fit pretty well. So next thing you do is then put it in the car. And it fits in just like that. Very close to stock. It still has a little bit of play in it, but I think it'll look alright with the other panel put on, and we'll be good to go. So as you guys can see, it's not perfectly flush as it sits, but all that would take is just removing that panel again, and I guess cutting out some more of that styrofoam. To me, it looks pretty good right now. I'm happy with it. Like I said, I might go back and cut more of it out later, but for now I think it looks good, and good enough to complete this install. Alright, so it really is that simple to install that upper rear chassis brace for the Elantra GT. Now, like I said, that is a one-off brace as of this moment, but I'm hoping that with my confirmation of fitment, that Piercemotorsport and Jim will list it on the website and make it available for other Elantra GT owners like you guys watching. Once again, I want to give a huge thanks to Jim over at Piercemotorsport for sending these bars out at a very good rate, allowing me to test fit them on the Elantra GT. Now, part 2 should be out shortly, installing the 2-point tie bar brace. Just can't get to it at this moment, but look for that in the coming weeks. So far, the fitment on the rear brace is doing great. It just takes a little elbow grease if you guys have that storage compartment in the back. Otherwise, it might be just plug and play. We'll have to see, maybe get someone a brace to test out that doesn't have the storage in the back. But for right now, everything fits good, and I'm looking forward to installing the other bar. Alrighty, so head down to the description to check out Piercemotorsport's website as well as some of their social media outlets. where you find some very unique and custom builds for SCCA events or rally events and stuff like that. So it's very unique to check out, and I would highly recommend taking a look. Now, if you guys have any questions, you can always find me on the Elantra GT/I30 Facebook page, as many of you guys know. I'm happy to answer questions there, or if you guys have any questions, comment them down below and I'll be happy to do my best to answer them. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next video.
Over me, it's not over.